Hi, my name is Jessica Noonan and I am the ministry and worship leader here at Glorify Performing Arts. I just wanted to share a little bit about my background and my testimony in hopes that you get to know me a little bit better. I grew up in the dance and theater world. I started singing and dancing at a really young age, and it was difficult for me. I was really hard on myself. I was never thin enough, I was never pretty enough, and I was never talented enough. Some of that, of course, was my own doing, but some of that was just the competitive nature of the business. After graduating with a BFA in musical theater from the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley, I moved to New York City. I got an agent and I landed a role in a national tour of a Broadway musical. I felt like this was just the beginning of a long, successful musical theater career, but God had other plans. I injured my knee on that tour, and after 2 knee surgeries and years of physical therapy, my dance career was over. I was so angry. I was angry at God, and I convinced myself God did not want me in the arts. So I removed all aspects of dance and music out of my life completely. Then in May of 2019, I did a Bible study that was centered around using your gifts to glorify God. I learned that we have specific gifts and we must use them to glorify God. Corinthians 10:31 states, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God." At that moment, it was like God was hitting me over the head and saying, hello, I didn't want you to use your gifts to glorify yourself. I want you to glorify me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't glorify God by doing secular musicals and theater. You can, of course, but I was doing it all for me. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be successful in theater so I could die a happy woman. But it was making me miserable at the same time. It was all for the wrong reasons. And God knew that. About a week after I finished that Bible study, a local dance studio owner reached out to me to see if I wanted to teach dance. God works in such mysterious ways. I began teaching dance, and that is where I met Melody Mendoza, GPA's founder. Shortly after, I began singing on my church's worship team, so using that gift again. And now 5 years later, I lead Bible studies, I lead worship at my church, and I work at Glorify Performing Arts. These past few years have taught me that the Lord is the author of my story, but I must jump in and submit to His requests, and He will provide. I am so passionate about this ministry, about sharing the gospel through the arts, and I feel God pulling me in on this mission. He's stretching me and giving me the tools to share my love for Jesus, music, and dance in such an amazing way. And I am just so blessed to be a part of this company. Thanks for listening.